Hello, everybody, and welcome to an episode of the Kris Gethin podcast. We are live from Mumbai. In the background, that is Juhu Beach. It's monsoon season. It's been pissing down with rain pretty much every day since I've been here over the last few weeks. And I wanted to give you a little bit of an update. I wanted to talk about what's been happening here since I've been in India, and what I've been thinking about. I've had a lot of time to think, even though I've been exceptionally busy. I've been thinking about a lot in regards to the future. I know that we should be present, and that's one of the things I want to talk about. And we shouldn't worry about the future. However, there should be some concern, and I'll tell you why a little bit later in the show. But when I first got here to India on this last trip, and I've made hundreds of trips to India since 2012 or 2011, maybe 2011. And, I'd just finished doing 12-week legacy video trainer. And then I went straight to London, had a booked time, very, very overwhelmingly scheduled time there. Even though I had a good time, I spoke at the Health Optimization Summit, and met with a lot of people, but I was on very little sleep. And then that continued when I went to Wales and visited with family, and I spent time with my family, which is great. Tried to stay off the phone as much as possible. However, while I was off the phone, my work was piling up. Blah blah blah. And then I went back down. We went down to London again. Was there for a few days again, very very busy. And then that's when I departed, left Sunshine, my beautiful Sunshine. She went and traveled to Romania, visited family, then went to Italy. Then she's in Portugal as we speak, and then she goes back to London before heading back to Boise. And I've been here in India working with another celebrity client. This time, a gentleman by the name of Vicky Kishal. Katrina Kaif, how do you pronounce her name? Katrina Kaif? Katrina Kaif's husband. I've met Katrina in the past, many, many years ago. And luckily, he's a great guy, enjoying the work there. But I was having a very, very hard time trying to settle in. Very, very hard time. I didn't know if it was depression. I didn't know if my symptoms were disguising themselves as depression. But I felt really congested. Not congested in my sinuses, but in a way that I was congested in my brain. I couldn't think straight. Brain fog was really, really bad. Physically, I felt inflamed. It's very hard to describe. Just felt like I was holding a lot of water. Obviously, I'd got in pretty bloody good shape at the end of the video series, and now it felt like everything was blurring away, and I felt really bad, and I felt terribly emotional, really, really emotional. One of the triggers was on the plane on the way here. I did not sleep at all because I had so much work that I needed to catch up on. However, when I started eating my meals, at the end of my meal, I thought, let me just take a little bit of a break. I tried to take about a 10-minute break during every hour of work. So during those 10-minute breaks, I was watching a movie called Otto. Excuse the pause, I'm just having a sip of my decaf coffee here. A movie called Otto with Tom Hanks, which I really didn't think that I'd enjoy. And to this day, I'm still only I don't think I'm even halfway through, maybe halfway through, because I was so emotional. This movie showed Tom Hanks as he's just retired, but it does flash back. He's obviously single, but he did used to be married. And it flashes back to him being in his element, extremely happy with his partner, with his life, but now he's lost his partner. His life isn't worth living to him. And he has a couple of, I don't want to spoil the movie, but he has a couple of failed attempts of taking his own life because his life really doesn't matter without his partner. And it really did make me think how much we don't live in the now and appreciate the now, because it could all be taken away from us. That time when I said goodbye to Sunshine at Heathrow Airport, I don't know if this is the last time I'd say goodbye to her. And again, it just compounded the urgency for me to live now, because I think a lot of us think to the future, think, okay, well, once I have this materialistic possession, once I've released this book, Once I've opened another gym, once I've launched this supplement line, once, then I'll be able to take a back seat and have more holidays and enjoy more time being present. And then what made me want to do this podcast today is that there was an article in a Wall Street Journal recently talking about how much TV people seem to watch once they hit retirement. And a lot of the reasons are because maybe they're not as energized as they were when they were younger. When I say younger, I'm on about like 40 years old, 50 years old. Like I'm touching 50. I'm almost 50. And maybe they don't have the energy. Maybe they don't have the enthusiasm. Maybe all the things that they wanted to do and share with people that they love have now got their own lives. Maybe they've lost their life. Whatever that may be, it has resulted in them basically working all their lives to have financial freedom, yet they spend on average 4.5 hours a day watching TV. 4.5 hours. There's a couple of other stats here that I've got written down. On average, we work around 250 to 260 days per year, which accounts for weekends and public holidays. The number of holidays varies from country to country, but it's common to have around 10 to 20 days off annually. I'd say that's about right, especially, probably less for a lot of farmers. The number of years spent working depends on several factors, such as individual career choice. However, it's typical for individuals to work for around 40 years. 40 years, maybe 45, 30 to 40 years, sorry, ranging from 30 to 40 years. And then retirement duration also varies dependent on that person's life choices and circumstances, but it's generally around 15 to 25 years in retirement. So think about it. We are working hard all of our lives to have around, let's say 15 years. Let's give ourselves a sense of urgency here. 15 years in retirement where we may not even have the energy or the enthusiasm or the people around us for us to enjoy that retirement as we had planned in our younger years. So it takes us back to fulfilling our balanced existence right now. This is a wake-up call that I really needed to hear, because I have spent a lot of my life working. For 5 years, there I did not even take a weekend off. For 5 years, because I really wanted to get ahead. And get it ahead, what does that mean? A lot of it is financial status that we put in our minds that we feel is going to be beneficial for us to be in our comfort zone. Everybody has a different idea of where that is. However, the more that we chase these goals and get fixated on releasing dopamine, then we will never reach our goals. Never, ever. Because as soon as we reach one, we're on to the next. Because we get addicted to that achievement. And we never sit down to release the serotonin and the oxytocin to appreciate that achievement. We're just on to the next. I'm definitely a victim for this. Like, I've written a lot of books. Maybe you haven't heard of a lot of them. The reason being because as soon as I release it, I'm like, okay, next. Market this book? Forget it. I'm not going to market it. I just want to get on to the next thing. Like, I put out an album years ago. It's on CD. It was on Apple iTunes. I pulled it off there because I just wasn't promoting it. I wasn't pushing it. I wasn't interested in it. I just did it out of self-fulfillment. But as soon as I put that album out, I was on to the next thing. And this is where I feel now I'm holding myself accountable, even though I do have some goals that I will be fulfilling next year because other people are dependent on me as well. Like, I know my January and March are already booked for next year, but I'm proactively going to make a stance and I'm going to make commitments now to travel much more and be present that much more and spend much more time overseas. Maybe I'll live somewhere for a month, 3 weeks, and work from there, be a digital nomad. It is difficult because I do have a pet and I do have commitments in Boise. We have investment properties there as well. So there are some commitments, but I'm going to start making proactive steps now to delegate in those areas. Um, anyway, let's go back to when I first got here in India. Like I said, I was taken aback by this book, obviously by this article, but I felt that I was very much congested. And I was very, very close to calling my manager and saying, you know what, I can't do this, dude. I can't do it this time round. Even though the money's good, even though the opportunity's great, even though I get to help someone get in shape for a role that is probably deemed as impossible, because this gentleman has to put on a considerable amount of size, but I'm confident that it can be done with consistency and doing what we did yesterday, only better today. Um, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I can't do this. I need to go back home. I need to be with sunshine. Um, but then I said to myself, no, just give it another day, just one more day. And then that next day I said, one more day. And then I said, let's just see if I can stick it out a week. Yeah, I'm talking about the first week of being here. Let's just get to the first week. And then during that time, I said, you know what? Instinctively, I feel like I have to have a liver flush. Like the liver is known to be an emotional organ. Even though I had a liver test when I was at the Health Optimization Summit, I had a scan on my liver, and everything came out with flying colors. Every single test, green, 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 which is exactly what you want. So everything was good there, but something told me that I needed to do a liver flush. So, so keep in mind, after I had that liver test, I had a little bit of flexibility with the diet, nothing crazy. Uh, I did drink a decent amount of alcohol on the one day when I went to watch Guns N' Roses in Hyde Park. Had a good time there. Stopped drinking at like 8 o'clock and just went on to water. However, I drank quite a bit beforehand. And I don't know if that was a contributing factor. Maybe the travel was a contributing factor. I think another part of that contributing factor was I got here. I don't know if you can see in the background here, but it is raining. It's monsoon season. So I wasn't able to get outside and earth myself like I like to. I've got an earthing mat here that my feet are on currently. I didn't have that earthing mat when I first got here. So I wasn't able to get the sunlight that I'm used to getting as well because pissing down with every day. So I started increasing my vitamin D, got the earthing mat, wearing my Bahi earthing trainers that I had here actually at every opportunity. And then I decided instinctively, you know what, I'm going to do a liver flush. I feel like maybe my liver is congested. So I did a liver flush. So I did 6 days of prep. My friend Adam Parker helped me with this liver flush because he's done like, I think, over 80 flushes. And I am part of a group all on liver flushing and gallbladder stones. So I pretty much knew the ropes, but he had some other tips that I should employ. So I did 6 days of prep, and then on the seventh day, I did my flush. And I detoxed a lot of gallstones. I was quite surprised, actually. A lot of gallstones. But you know what? Instantly, instantly, I felt better. I felt so much better. Even though I have really good eyesight, my eyesight even felt clearer. My brain started to function a lot as I'm used to it, how I'm used to it to function. I felt like the cobwebs had been blown out of my brain, the fogginess, the cloudiness, the cotton, however you want to describe it. There was something that was stopping me from functioning properly on an emotional, a psychological, and a spiritual level. And I felt like that upregulated itself. Because prior to this, I was taking my methylene blue, I was trying other nootropics to see if I could do anything that would help me feel better about myself, and nothing really did. And as soon as I did that liver flush, I felt myself again. And I didn't just rely on that liver flush. I started consciously telling myself that I should be very appreciative of the place that I'm in. The people of India are so nice. They're so hospitable. Everyone smiles at you. Everybody's just, it's definitely one of the capitals that I've been to when it comes to welcoming, hospitality, happiness. That just people are really, really nice, really, really nice. And I decided to take away some of those people's energy as well. Whenever I saw someone smile at me, I'd smile back at them, but I'd consciously absorb that energy to feel better and just say, okay, I'm taking in that smile, I'm taking in that positive energy, I'm taking in that happiness, and I'm going to use it as my own to fuel me throughout this day and appreciate my workouts, appreciate my work, appreciate the meals, even though they are very boring and bland to what a lot of people would assume would be nice meals. I love my meals. I love them boring and I love them bland and I love them all cold. I don't warm up any of my meals. Breakfast sometimes is a warmer meal, but every single one of them after are cold. And I don't care because I eat for function, not for fun. Fun foods will kill you. I'm not interested in retiring and then dealing with a host of issues that have dysregulated my immune system, created dysfunctional function of my mitochondria, and now I can't travel. I can't seek experiences. I can't seek adventure because now I'm a burden to myself and a burden to others. So I'll eat for function over flavor, over fun, as a lot of people do. We live in a warped environment today when it is seen out of character not to eat what other people are eating, even if it's bad for them. You know, you go to a restaurant, you go to a family outing, you go to a social gathering, everybody's eating shit, absolutely terrible. And then you show up with your Tupperware container or you show up with your own food to put on the barbecue or whatever it may be, and people frown upon you, make fun of you. I think it's insane. How did we come to this? How did we come to this environment where, okay, if you're in shape, you must be on steroids and it's bad for you? Or in India, people say that protein powders can kill you and it must be bad for you. But if you go and eat McDonald's every day, you're going to have one of those 1,000 calories uh, drinks that disguise themselves as a Starbucks coffee every day that is slowly killing you bit by bit. No one bats an eyelid. Absolutely crazy. Someone dies of heart disease because of the food that they've eaten all their life. No, no correlation, no causation here. Turn a blind eye. It's absolutely insane, and I can't understand why we live in a world that is so dysfunctional where only 50, 60 years ago it definitely wasn't that way. I always try to encourage people to go to single form ingredients whenever possible, whether that be a potato, chicken, fish, eggs, rice, oats, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. I don't care if you're on keto, carnivore, any particular diet, just make sure that it isn't full of processed shit. Luckily, in the news that I just heard as well on Wales Online and the BBC Wales as well. Now, Wales as a country, England aren't doing this yet. Wales as a country have decided now to put a limit on bad food that can be promoted and put together in packs. So, sometimes there's a pack that is put together, and that could be a Snickers, that could be a bag of chips, it could be something else, I don't know, some sort of cracker or whatever. They are going to ban that. This starts getting introduced now this year, and it'll be fully fledged by 2025. I'm so happy that Wales are doing that. Really, really happy, because we have to think not only about ourselves and our future, think about the younger generation. I see it here all the time. I was just down at the breakfast area this morning. A lot of kids here staying at the hotel, and I see them eating pancakes. Of course, they're eating some other Indian dishes that are sweet. They're eating donuts, they're eating cakes, they're eating waffles. I saw some even eating ice cream. Absolutely insane. Jag, my business partner, was just here as well. And he showed me a picture that he took at Delhi airport while he was on the way down here. And it had a line of people at 5 a.m. Actually, it was just before 5 a.m., waiting to pick up their Domino's pizza. It's either Pizza Hut or Domino's, one of the others. And this was before 5 a.m. They had ordered that and they're waiting on them to eat them for breakfast that early in the morning. This is a heart attack and diabetes or diabesity, we like to call it, waiting to happen, especially in the morning. If you want to avoid cravings throughout the day, stay away from sugars or like highly bleached starch carbs first thing in the morning, because that's going to give you a massive blood sugar spike. And then what is followed with a massive blood sugar spike? You get a huge dip. What happens when you get that huge dip? Now you're scrambling to get some insulin into the blood or some sugar to bring it back up to baseline. So now you have a vicious cycle throughout the rest of the day. And you could have eliminated that by just having a lower carbohydrate breakfast or a healthier breakfast, especially having protein with it, especially having some fiber with it to slow down the release of those carbohydrates in the morning. You know, so you buyer beware. The decisions that you see on people from the neck down are the decisions that they have made in their brain from the neck up. And it all starts with sleep. A lot of these people that are eating bad in the morning are usually tired. They're lethargic. They've either gone to bed way, way, way too late, or they've had too little sleep. A lot of the time it's a combination of both. So when you're exhausted, when you're tired, you're emotionally drained. And then to make yourself feel better, you're always going to give in to your cravings because you're not thinking of a logical mind. You're thinking of a tired, lethargic mind. And that's not going to be good for your overall outcome. So I always tell people, number one, focus on going to bed early, wear your blue light blocking glasses, or stay away from artificial light and devices for a good couple of hours before bed, and limit the time that you spend on your phone. Because the more that you spend on your phone, the more you are releasing dopamine, that feel-good hormone. You pick up your phone, makes you feel kind of good. You feel safe, feel secure, you're comforted by it. But it releases this dopamine again and again and again. And then when you release all this dopamine throughout the day, you're exhausted, you're tired, but your brain is wired. And you can't go to sleep at night because you're thinking, because you've trained your mind to think and get distracted throughout the day. So that's why, you know, we hear that common, the common term, wired and tired. You're completely wired, you can't sleep, but you're so exhausted. So limit the time on your phone. Put it on airplane mode. Keep it away from you. Definitely do not have it in your bedroom. I am here in a hotel. I have it plugged in to charge up during the night in the bathroom. But I also have a couple of things in my bedroom as well that are mitigating devices to help mitigate the Wi-Fi, because I understand not only have I got my phone here, that's on airplane mode, I have to worry about the Wi-Fi. I don't have a kill switch. And I know the Wi-Fi is very, very strong in these hotels, and it could be dirty electricity. So I have my Vivo base that helps mitigate that damage. And of course, I've got this earthing mat that I have here. Actually, I'll show you for those that are viewing. This is my earthing mat. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap up this solo episode. So anyway, guys, I am obviously here helping some celebrities. The other celebrities that I do help, I train them online. Like 0.1% of the clients that I train are in person. And I'll only do it for a couple of months of the year because I'm so busy and I don't want to be away from home. I don't want to be away from my partner. So what I do is train the rest of these celebs and my clients online. So for instance, Hrithik Roshan, he's in LA at the moment, maybe in New York, I don't know, he's overseas. And I'm training him online. So if you would like me as your online coach to help you not only get in great shape, but maybe level up. Maybe you're dealing with cravings. Maybe you need accountability to go to bed earlier. Maybe you need accountability to start living your life now, not in 5 years' time. And I can help you with actionable steps, but also with accountability to reach those small milestones to get to the bigger picture. If that is you, you can hit me up on Instagram, just direct message me and let me know that you'd like to apply, because I don't accept everybody, obviously. to be one of my clients, and it doesn't matter where in the world that you are, I can help you. So thank you very much, everybody, and really want to thank our sponsors too. So the sponsors here, they help us keep the lights on. I am not making money out of this podcast, but I want to continue to provide you with great content and have great people on the show as well. So please do support these sponsors by using the links and using the code that is in the caption below these podcasts, whether you're watching it on YouTube or listening to it on another platform. But number one, I want to appreciate you and send out that appreciation, because without you, none of this happens. So thank you ever so much. I appreciate it. From Mumbai, this is Kris Gethin and the Kris Gethin Podcast, and we are out.